I'm going to give the floor to Louise to get us off to a good start.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Okay, I think we're going to probably have a couple of late arrivals, but we'll just start and then they have the recording to catch up. A very warm welcome on behalf of the International Committee. We're so excited to see so many of you, considering all the varying situations everyone is in. But Lily and Kevin and Peter and I all recognise that if there's a time for looking at our personal development and our training, it really is now. It's a great chance to look at it and to get signed up for some extra training. So I'm a participant in the 2020 leadership certification. So just want to open the floor for any messages you want to send me, any questions about it from a candidate point of view. More than welcome to answer those on the text here or by email later on. I think most of you should have my contact, but if not, you can reach me on LinkedIn. Very excited. I was going to introduce you to Kevin, but Kevin is a man who needs no introduction, especially within AICR. So yeah, just a very warm welcome to Kevin and Peter. Thank you so much for taking the time to just show us a little bit more in depth about what the leadership certification entails. And yeah, I'll hand the floor right back to you.
Thanks, Louise. I realized maybe instead of giving the floor to someone, it should be giving the Zoom box.
I'll give the Zoom box back to you. Here you go.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. Again, thank you so much, all of you, for taking an hour of your time. Together with Peter, we're going to co-facilitate this session. And we've decided to split it up into 3 parts. So we're going to do about 20 minutes, give you information about the program, then 20 minutes, actually do a demo. So something that I would do in a coaching session. So we're going to use the breakout room function and have you guys do a little bit of work. And then 20 minutes Q&A at the end. Obviously, if you have a question in the moment, please go ahead in the chat function. You could write in your question. And also, as Louise said, feel free to ask her some questions as she's a participant in this year's program.
Yes.
Moving on. So just to let you know who we are. So my name is Kevin, Managing Partner of Lighthouse Organizational Development. Originally from San Diego. I've lived in Vienna for half my life. Scary to say that, 24 years, in which now you know my age. And together with my business partner, Peter, we manage a network of 20 trainers, coaches, consultants, all working in the field of organizational development, learning development. Our engagement with AICR goes back 5 years. It's been quite a run. Peter?
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. So my name is Peter Beardo. I'm originally from Hungary, have lived in Austria for 13 years now, with some time in between that I spent in the US and South Korea, but always returning to Austria. Yeah, as Kevin said, we're managing Lighthouse together, and my focus is on the digital learning side of the business. So I spend most of my time working with clients, building online digital academies that consists of different e-learning, mobile learning, video products. So we'll get into all of that a little bit later, but that's just a quick intro about me. My role in the AICR program is connected to supporting the participants and leading them through this learning journey that we have designed. Good. So here we have a couple of Zoom tips. I'm sure that after such a long lockdown, many of you, if not all of you, know these buttons, functionalities very well. Nevertheless, just a really quick primer on Zoom. So bottom left corner, we have an unmute button, and we're asking you to please keep your microphone muted if you're not speaking, just to manage the noise level for everyone in the room. Then in the top right corner, we have the speaker view. So here you can change whether you want to see the slides full screen or the face of the person talking. And then we have a couple of interaction possibilities. You can send us thumbs up using the reactions tab. Chat, you can use the chat function. And then in the participants tab, you can raise your hand if you have a question. We'll do our best to, as we call it, read the Zoom instead of read the room, based on your facial expressions. If we see someone a little bit confused, maybe then we'll try to go to that person and ask and give him or her the floor to ask their question. Okay, Kevin, we have an intro activity here. Would you like to introduce that?
Yeah, so just briefly, in the chat function, if you could write your name, where you are right now, what your role is, and just one word, how you feel in this exact moment.
Sorry, Kevin, do we have to tell the truth?
Sometimes they say honesty is not the best policy. As you like. Good to see you, David. Good to see you, Roman, as well. All right. Relaxed in Doha. Curious in Singapore. Tilo is feeling great. Curious in Lugano. Jazzed. I like that. David's tired. Working hard as always, I'm sure.
Always, my friend.
Feeling happy. Frazzled. AICR family again. Excellent. Thank you. Good. So, again, really, someone's having Thai food for dinner. So thanks for sharing that. It's good to have you all here. And now we'll get deeper into more information about the program. So what is the program? When we sat down over 5 years ago with Hani El-Sharkawi, we wanted to create a program with the following objective, which is, to give AICR members a learning and development opportunity that would show a sign of excellence for front office positions, and then to help people advance in their careers. So that's the specific objective of the program. Why? So the big picture, what are the benefits for AICR? Certainly it's an added value for the members of AICR. I hope Louise will tell us a little bit about that later. Career advancement. We know that people over the last 5 years who participate in the program, this training and development has helped them grow in their careers. It's a tailored learning and development opportunity for AICR, which you'll see about very soon. And then again, a recognizable sign of excellence in the front office. So that's the benefits, the big picture. So the how, in terms of methodology, what we've done together originally with Hani is these 3 modules, if you will, from self-awareness to skill development to then applications. So we've built up the program, which you'll see in more detail on the next slide. So as front office leaders, who am I? What are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? And then moving to customer service. So how can I take that, build on my customer service related to what we do, how I lead my people, goes into the third, to the top of the pyramid, how I lead my teams, how I motivate my teams. Now there on the side, you see there's a coaching element, which I'm responsible for. So there, within the 1-year program, there are 2 coaching sessions, which I do. And then what we added last year is this real life change project. So what we wanted to do with this is make sure that not only are people learning the skills through the e-learning courses and the coaching, but they're actually applying it to real life situations within their hotel chain. More on that soon. I'll now give the floor to Peter.
Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, so here we have our program architecture. And so what we can see here, but quite important is the timeline. So it's a learning journey between typically January and November. November would be the submission date for the change project, in January the kickoff. So let's start with the kickoff. Once we have the group on board, we usually start with a live webinar, very similar to this, to get you acquainted with how the program works, how the learning management system works, and just get you started. The first step in the learning journey is the Nbi Assessment, which is a thinking preferences assessment. So this serves and supports the self-awareness piece, so creating the foundation for the program. Kevin, would you like to add anything on the NBI before I go on?
It's a great tool, measuring thinking preferences and how that relates to your strengths and weaknesses in your leadership style. So are you more of an analytical style? Are you more of a innovative, motivating style? Are you more people-oriented? So it's just a great way of understanding what we do well and what we can improve on, specifically connected to leadership.
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, so then we kick off with the first module, self-awareness and communication. So throughout all these three modules, the centerpiece of this learning journey is a learning management system, which serves as the platform for everything we do. On this learning management system, we have the e-learning courses related to the module topics that you can see in the blue boxes at the bottom. And these learning courses we have hand-selected and tailored to AICR's needs. And the majority of the courses are between 5 minutes and up to 30 minutes. It's all self-paced learning, which was really important for us and for AICR from a design perspective, because we wanted to give you the opportunity to fit this program to your work schedule, especially that we're working across a number of different time zones. So you can do the courses at your own pace. Whenever you have time, you can pause, you can continue later on. And we only ask you to get module 1, module 2, and module 3 done until a specific deadline. Good. So that's module 1. Module 2, we go into customer service excellence. So here the focus is really on skill development to help you excel in your positions and acquire the necessary knowledge for it. And in this module, this is the decision-making point for your change project. So here we would ask you to let us know what kind of change project you would like to launch and describe it. And the coaching sessions that you do with Kevin will support you in both making the decision and structuring how you want to go about your change project. So in terms of content, here we have a bunch of different topics, such as customer service, negotiation skills, and so on. So here it's really focusing on the skill development before we transition into module 3, teamwork and leadership, which is all about putting everything you learned in the context of working with and leading others. Module 3 is also the module which comes with the second live online coaching session and the implementation support for your change project. And to kind of the capstone for the project is for you to submit a change project report to Lighthouse. And then after this, the really only task left is to celebrate the leadership certification. And that's usually the best part of the program, I would say, especially if you are attending the AICR Congress. I had a chance to attend the one in London 2 years ago, and it's great to see a couple of familiar faces now on Zoom. All right, that's about the program architecture.
Yeah, and again, module 1, the time frame is January, February. Module 2, March, April. Module 3, May, June. The first coaching session takes place in February. The second would usually take place in June, so that I can give some input on the change management project. This year we decided to postpone that till August because obviously, depending on where you are geographically and what your government hotel policy is regarding COVID-19, it just made more sense to move this to August. So we do flex depending on the environment. Let's move on, Peter.
Yeah, so let's take a quick look at program costs. So AICR significantly subsidizes the program by covering all the fixed costs associated with the design and developing and running of the program. So the participant contribution for this year-long program is 845 euros, which already includes VAT. So that would be the only contribution from your side. And as I said, this is a great opportunity for you because AICR International sponsors the program. Yeah.
So this is the time where we show you how wonderful we are. So this is
one of our most favorite slides, of course.
So this is feedback that we have received over.
Yeah. So on the feedback, so we collect feedback, both quantitative and qualitative feedback, and on different levels. So throughout the program, we would ask you at the end of each module to give us your feedback based on the overall program experience, the learning management system, how easy it is to use, the coaching sessions, as well as on the course level. So in the last 4 years, what we did at the end of each leadership certification program, we looked at the feedback and made slight changes to the curriculum. So over the last 4 years, we have maybe exchanged about 3 to 4 courses based on your feedback. So your feedback is really important, and we actually take it and implement it into the program to make it even better for future participants.
Yeah, I'd really like to highlight that we also get developmental feedback and we do implement it. Whether we were working together with Hanny, then with Doris, now with Lily and Louise, so we're constantly in communication with AICR, with the committee, and trying to improve it. And that's one of the reasons why we integrated the change project last year. And then we've got one more, so to give you some quantitative data.
Yeah, so here it's more on the high level, on the program level, just to see you, just to show you an overview of feedback we received so far. As you can see, it's very positive on both the program communication, the coaching session that really stands out. So good job, Kevin. And then we also like to ask the question, okay, has this learning content helped you in your actual daily work? And how the learning management system experiences, and of course, as a final question, okay, would you recommend this program to other members in AICR?
And then finally, in terms of the next steps, Peter, you want to continue?
Sure. So we've got a couple of milestones here in terms of getting started. The application deadline for the 2021 program would be end of this year, so December 2020. Here we would ask you to submit your application with your CV to Lily. And then in the same month, pay the contribution, the participant contribution in December, so that we can get started with your group in January 2021. As I said, with a kickoff webinar where we will introduce all the major and important parts to get started with your learning.
Okay, so that's the info about the program. I'm taking, before we go into a demo session, I'm just taking a look at the chat to see if we've got any immediate questions. We are going to finish with a 20-minute Q&A, but I'm just looking at the chat if there's anything immediate to deal with. Not yet. Okay, good. So again, we'll have an opportunity the last 20 minutes for Peter, for myself, Louise. I see some other graduates of previous years, including Sevag and Tilo, so they'd be able to answer some questions. So let's go ahead then, and I want to take you through a coaching demo. So we're going to set up 4 breakout groups here where you're going to have an opportunity to share and compare with each other. And what I'm going to share, the tool I'm going to share with you is called the Delegation Matrix. What I have found in the last 5 years working with front office managers through this program is that delegation is something that every manager realizes is absolutely necessary to be more effective. Yet it's something that we have a tendency to struggle with. So that's going to be the focus of this coaching demo. It's going to be on a delegation matrix. And so I'm going to put you very soon into 4 breakout rooms. So we'll probably have 6 or 7 different people in each breakout room. And I will jump to each breakout room. Breakout room number 1, you're going to have 7 minutes. So the 6 or 7 of you, I just want you to brainstorm and discuss what are barriers to effective. So as in my role as a manager, what blocks me from effectively delegating? And I would ask one person in that group to take notes. So kind of an internal facilitator to take notes, because then we're going to come back and share with the plenum. So group 1, what are some barriers? You should be able to come up with 5 or 6. Group 2, what are the delegation benefits to the employee? So when you're delegating to your direct reports, what are 3 to 5 benefits to the employee? Breakout room 3, what are the benefits to the manager? So to you and your role as manager, what are the effective delegation benefits to you? And then breakout room 4, what about the hotel, or if you're working within a hotel chain, what are the benefits to the organization? Okay, so those are going to be the 4 breakout rooms. You're going to be assigned to these. I'm going to do a random assignment, and then I'll jump into each group and make sure that you're working with the right question. Okay? So here we go. I'm creating the rooms now, which will probably be around 7 or 8 per person, per room. And here you go. So this should be breakout group number 1, or, oh, here we go.
I'm actually in the room 3, so I'll join room 3.
Yeah, go ahead. Tilo and Bruno?
Bless you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think the others are coming back slowly but surely.
We are back.
Woo! Only us.
Only us people are showing up.
We've
Slowly
returned from the Matrix.
Slowly but surely, I
There's
believe
only the breakout room 4 here.
we've got everybody. We got everybody. So I'd like to start with room 2. Whoever was responsible for taking notes, if you could just share a couple, 2 or 3 things with me. What were some benefits to the employee?
Okay, that was me. So we said it would enable the employees to grow, to learn and develop new skills that they can then pass on to others.
Okay.
Gives them a sense of trust and empowerment.
Yeah.
Improves their self-esteem and makes them feel valued.
Wow. That's good stuff. I'm sure you have more. I'll keep it like that for now.
Okay.
Thanks very much. Now we had group 3. What were the benefits to the manager?
Louise, would you like to answer?
Oh,
Wait, I think someone else was going to answer there.
Oh, okay, sorry.
for the manager, we said that, you know, it allows them to not be burned out.
Yep.
It allows them also to have the benefit to, you know, take on more responsibility and have a big picture vision.
Yep.
Time for more time for this.
Anything else?
Louise, anything you want to add?
Yeah, just one small point. We also said it then allows them to discover who's on their team. So what skills, hidden abilities that they may not have known about.
Cool. All right. So let's go to group 4, organization.
Well, we said that the organization will have more talented people, either the managers or the employee, because it will develop themselves. This will lead to a better efficiency with better results in quality-wise and finance-wise. And basically, we said that this could be a very good summary of answers from manager and employee from the other breakout rooms.
Great. So as you had those conversations and you look at the results here, the notes, it seems pretty obvious that effective delegation is absolutely necessary to be a good leader. It's, as they say in Austria, it's a no-brainer. Yet we know that leaders have difficulties doing this. So what are the actual barriers? So if we could go to group number 1, could you please share with us what the barriers are?
So regarding the barriers, we came up with a bunch of points. First of all, of course, the time. We need to find the time to train. The staff has to have the willing to learn. The staff might be scared to underperform. Some staff will not accept more responsibility without a higher title or a salary. It might create a competition, an unhealthy competition between staff. So that has to be managed also. Managers need to, of course, the most important point, trust their staff to perform at their same standard. You have to have enough manpower, enough staff actually to delegate. Staff turnover and unexperienced staff could be barriers, of course, also. And then, of course, the manager needs to follow through, double check, refresh, retrain, which is all beneficial, but there's still barriers. Potential barrier could be confidentiality in certain scenarios. And if one were to have improper tools of communication between the manager and the staff.
Excellent. So yeah, as leaders, we realize all the benefits to the employee, to yourself, and then also to the organization. Yet these are very realistic barriers. So when I'm doing the coaching sessions, when I have a coachee who's struggling with delegation, this is the journey that I take them through. I ask them these questions, get them to reflect on their roles as effective delegators, and then become more intentional about why delegation is so important. And then what I share with them is this idea of breaking down. So I have them reflect on their direct reports, whether they have one direct report or up to 10 or 15 direct reports, to reflect on each one. Because as you know, when you think about your own people, you realize you have people who are at different stages of their career, different levels of development, different expertise and experience and skills. So this is this matrix here is about looking at your people, who's on a beginner level, who's on a learner, who's on a worker, who's on a performer. And you take a look at some characteristics. What are some behaviors that you would typically find of an employee at that level? And then I lead the coachee through a process. Okay, so what should your delegation style be? How would you delegate to this person to be more effective? And that's another model that I bring in that we don't have time for these 20 minutes, but I just want to give you an idea of the flow. And this all leads finally to the delegation matrix. And this is something that leaders that I work with in any industry, any level, this is a matrix that they find to be very helpful to them. Because if a coachee wants to really work on delegation, we've defined a style, depending on beginner, learner, worker, performer. I have them apply this matrix to their direct reports. And what you can see there is in the yellow boxes, that's your role as a leader. The white boxes are what you would expect from the direct report. So obviously, if you're working with a beginner who's motivated, new on the job, maybe doesn't have a lot of skills yet, you're going to have to, I think I just flipped that. Excuse me, I just flipped that wrong. The white box is your role as manager. Or wait a minute, have I confused myself here? Peter, help me out. Yeah, thank you. Excuse me, I flipped that around. The white box would be your role. So if you have a beginner, you're going to have to go through all of those steps, explain objectives, specific expectations, describe, and then the beginner performs tasks. As you move towards the right on the matrix, the performer, you would only have to explain the objectives, and then they would be able to do the rest. So what we do is then the homework for the coachee who's working on delegation would take this, apply the matrix to his or her people. And then in addition, I give another model on a 4-step process for delegating. So that was to just give you an idea. I would say 50% of the coachees that I've worked with, delegation is a key topic. And that's how I would guide them through learning and development on delegation, and then giving them the opportunity to apply it to their direct reports. And that's the other thing I want to be clear about. Every coaching is different. I've had now the opportunity to coach over the last 5 years, probably about 100, 110, and each coaching hour is different. There are certain things that we definitely do. So the first coaching session, we definitely go through the needling brain instrument. And then I often ask the coachee, what's going on? What's keeping you up right now? What's keeping you up at night? What difficulties are you having with your team, with your leader? Is there anything from the e-learning module that you would like to go over? So I flex to the needs of the coachee. The reason I shared delegation with you was 50% of the time, that's a topic that comes up, and that's how we address it. So we've got 15 minutes now and want to open it up for any questions you have about the program, about the delegation module. So fire away. And you can do this either verbally, you can write it in the chat box, however you like. We're ready. Thank you, Patrizia, for the feedback, the breakout groups concept. I gotta believe there's some questions out there.
Maybe you just covered it so expertly, Kevin.
Yeah, especially that delegation matrix. I didn't on that one.
Oh, there's one. Kevin, there's a question in the chat now from Marie.
I see Sophia is also trying to ask a question. Sophia, are you trying to ask a question?
I can write it down if you prefer.
I'm sorry?
I can write it down if you prefer.
I mean, you can say it or you can write it down.
No, I really like the chat that we have in breakout. So I was wondering when you do the course, if you actually interact with another people or you do it by yourself.
Yeah. So the coaching is one-on-one.
Okay.
And I give the coachee multiple channel opportunities, whether they prefer a phone call, Skype face-to-face, Zoom. What I did there with you was just to give you all an idea of what we might do in a coaching session.
Okay.
Lily, thanks for answering Ayub's question about sharing program details. And then the other question we had in the chat from Marie is, have you heard from successful or maybe not so successful change projects?
Yeah, so this is, we're finding out, Marie. So this is the first year that we've integrated the change project into the program. And with all 16 participants, we have confirmation of their change projects. The change projects go anywhere from micro to macro. So what I've told the coachees is that it could be an individual development initiative for their leadership style. It could be with a change initiative with his or her team, with his or her direct reports, could be with the leadership team of the hotel, could also be for the hotel chain. So we have somebody who's working in a hotel chain of 4 or 5 hotels who is, the change initiative is a leadership and development project that he wants to implement within his own hotel and then bring it out to the rest of the chain. The difficulties obviously right now is we kicked this process off in February, then we've got COVID-19 disrupting the whole industry in different ways. I'll know more in August when we do the second coaching session, how people are adapting with their change project. But I think the important thing there was that we give people the opportunity to go from micro to macro. So even if a participant finds him or herself in a longer lockdown, he or she can still do an individual change initiative. So far, I've found the initiatives to be very exciting and very interesting. Anything from renewable energy, recycling, learning and development, improving team relations. So the projects are quite good. I'll know more in August. Other questions, comments? I know we've got Sevag, Thilo, Louise. You are all graduates of the program. Is there anything that you would like to share?
I just have a question.
Yes, Sevag.
From our feedback, was anything updated on the module?
Yeah, so from last year's feedback, we exchanged a couple of courses, and the big change was the introducing the change to the curriculum.
Yeah, the change project was really rooted in feedback where participants wanted to take the skills that they learned from the e-learning courses and then also from the coaching and really implement it. So that's why we decided, hey, let's do this. And by the way, there is a template for the change project. So all the 16 participants this year, they have a template, a PowerPoint template that goes through what's the change project, what's the current situation, what are the negative consequences if it stays like that, what is their change initiative, how are they implementing it, what's the architecture of the implementation, and what will be the results in Q3, Q4. They're going to put that together, send it to us, and then Peter, myself, and the International Committee are going to look at these. There's a pointing system, so we're actually scaling the work that they're doing up to about 100 points. And then there's going to be a winner. And you know, hopefully in Qatar, we'll be able to see each other again, and the winner of the change project, I believe, will have expenses paid to join the Qatar conference in 2021.
Awesome.
David, looks like you're ready to say something.
No, not really. I'm ready to go to sleep, actually.
It's very late in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I would like to ask, especially Luis and Oscar, who are participating in this year's program. Obviously, they have done the first 3 modules or are in the 3rd module at this moment and are in the process of starting off with their change project. How their experience with the courses in the modules were, and also the coaching session they had with Kevin.
Oscar, I'm sorry, I'm very happy to answer this one, so sorry if I'm butting in, but so first of all, the experience with the online learning, I absolutely love the layout because we all are working very sporadic, sometimes hours, shifts, and we can't really predict our week in the way that maybe an office worker could. And so it's great that the online learning is always there. You can always go back to it if you have a day where you can delegate just for that, or if you have an hour here, an hour there, that is really flexible. And I really have enjoyed that aspect of it, that it's completely free for you to manage your time just within the deadline of finishing the module. What was the second part of the question, Lily? Oh no, you're on mute.
Sorry. Yes, so the second part was also how you obviously found the content of the courses and the coaching session with Kevin. Yeah.
Well, the coaching session, wow. I really needed it because it came right at the time of the COVID changes and things, and I found it probably the number one factor for kind of seeing me through this bizarre time with a level head, to be honest. It was really great, really inspiring. As Kevin says, he tailors them to whoever is on the Zoom, and so I can only speak about my session, but I was able to take some tools away from it, like the circle of influence, which is a really great tool I've been using a lot. And just, it was a really great reset button for me at a time that I definitely needed it. So sometimes I think we're so into our work and we're so into our routine, to sit down and look at it from a slight distance, from a different perspective, with Kevin, who doesn't know the people in your organization necessarily, but can really give you a great bird's eye view of, well, what is it exactly? You need that sometimes. You need that perspective to give you the answers to what you need to change. So for me, it was essential. I don't think I could have actually got through lockdown without it, to be quite honest. And so thank you, Kevin. Big shout out for that.
Wow. Thanks, Louise. I'm 100% confident without my support, you would have made it.
Well, definitely not with the CAM approach anyway. I was a little bit flustered at the start of lockdown with all of these changes, to say the least. So thank you.
I appreciate that feedback. And then also Tilo, thank you for writing that in the chat box. And I think that's one of the most important things about the coaching sessions. I really tailor it to the needs of the participant in that given moment, because that's one of the interesting things I've experienced with AICR. Just between the first coaching session and the second coaching session, there could be a number of changes. So when I usually kick off the second coaching session, I say, hello, how's it going? What's new? What's going on? Because I've had situations where people have been promoted to a new role. They've moved into a different hotel chain. They have left the hospitality industry. They have gone on to be consultants. They're looking for new jobs. So it's really important, those, even if it's 2 one-hour sessions, we can get a lot done, and can be tailored to what the needs of the participant are in that exact moment. We've got a few more minutes. If anybody has something to ask or to add.
Actually, from my end, what I wanted to add is to thank the AICR UAE as well as AICR the whole world for having this type of opportunity for me to undertake this course. Truly speaking, Kevin, this has been beneficial to me as well, career-wise, as you say. And there's a lot of things I've implemented since I started this course, which has been a plus to my operation and as well as to my performance. And one of the thing which came as a plus to me was that previously I was working as an assistant FOM, whereby I got a promotion because a lot of things which I was undertaking through the course, I was implementing at the same time. On top of this as well, as I said, there is a lot of changes my colleagues were seeing, whom actually we were working with in the same branch as central hotels. And this one gave them a light, and everyone wanted to know what I'm doing. So it gave me a chance also to introduce them to AICR, and Lily can be a witness to that, whereby I have 2 of my colleagues who are front office managers, and they're currently also they're currently part of AICR group here in UAE. So the course has been a plus, and my colleagues also are looking forward to do in the next coming course. And there's a lot of things I've learned. There's a lot still to come, and I'm really grateful for everything.
Thank you, Oscar.
Thank you so much.
Really, really appreciate your input.
I think what I enjoyed the most, Kevin, was your one-on-one coaching sessions while we're doing the program. It was very beneficial.
Yeah, I can remember, say, like, even if that was 3 years ago, you were going through change your own change initiative as well in your career.
Yes, and it helped me a lot. So thank you.
All right, so I want to be mindful of your time. We will send these slides that we use today and Lily will forward them to you. Thank you, really, for whether you're 1 in the morning, 11 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon. Thanks for taking the time. And obviously, if you have more questions, feel free to reach out to Lily and to myself and Peter and Louise.
Yeah, thanks everyone for your time and attention.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thanks to all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.